here we are again. We're really happy and kind of proud of how we built this club up over the last 7 or 8 years particularly. I'd say we're looking at a fairly large group of Avantis here for just a city municipal club. I would say take a quick peek to 10 or 12 cars, and there are a lot of state meets that don't do that well. And not only do we have a nice quantity, but we have pretty good quality too. So most of the cars have been waxed to the nines. Harvey's is a really good example here with the metallic gold looks very nice.
It's a beautiful day here in Birmingham for the 2016 Woodward Cruise. It's a little hot, but we're doing well. We have a breeze and we're enjoying these beautiful cars. We have more Avantis and Studebakers this year, but as long as we are all here, that's all that matters. Hope everyone has a wonderful time.
What's that? Take an early morning video. YouTube at 11, ladies.
My name is Gary Taylor, live in Sterling Heights. I've got a 1962 Studebaker GT Hawk. I've had it since '93, and mechanically sound car, haven't done too much to it, and I've been part of the Studebaker Drivers Club and the Western Lake Erie Studebaker Drivers Club since about '63, and don't get out to too many events, but I do enjoy this one. Enjoy the Ypsilanti Orphan Car Show, and which is coming up shortly, and I just have a good time with the Studebaker.
I'm at the Woodward Cruise with the Studebaker and Avanti clubs. This is my 1970 Avanti, which is a wonderful car. Needs a little work. I am going to be selling it, which I hate to do, but I'm just not prepared to do the work myself. I've been coming to the Woodward Dream Cruise literally since the beginning. I live not far from Woodward, and what a wonderful event. You have to love it.
Hello, I'm Ray Sweatman. My wife Bonnie and I are from Clawson, Michigan, and we own this beautiful 1983 Avanti 2. We've owned the car about 3 years. We bought it, and as it is, it's been repainted. It originally had a sunroof on it, and we decided through many trials and tribulations of leaks to replace the sunroof with nothing but a panel. So we had the panel put over, and we had the car repainted to match the white color. It's got 64,000 miles on it. It's got a GM 305. It was made in South Bend, Indiana. It's one of the last Avantis made by the Altman brothers in their venture in South Bend. And it's a great car, it's a great driver, and we're proud to have it, proud to be here today.
Okay, here we are, Woodward Dream Cruise 2016. Another beautiful day, and this rain is not in sight. Here with my 1963 unrestored Studebaker Avanti. I'm one of about 8 or 12 Avantis here today. We've got a great showing by the Avanti Group, representing Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. Great showing for Avanti. I bought this car about 6 years ago. It was an unrestored car. I bought it sight unseen out of Atlanta. No sale on eBay, and I love the car. It's just a great car. I've got about 99,000 miles on it, and I'm looking to put another 99,000 on it.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Ted Andrews. I'm the Indiana chapter president of the AOAI, and this is my 1971 Avanti 2. It actually has an interesting story. This was designed by this was actually owned by one of the designers of the Avanti, Bob Andrews, and who happened to be my father. And it's been in the family since 1971. It was originally painted in silver, and my dad had repainted it 2 times. In the late 70s, it was like a tan color, and then in the mid 80s, he did a number of modifications to the car. Primarily, he basically cut into the front wheel wells a little bit. He jacked up the rear car a little bit to make it look more like a Studebaker Avanti. He removed the 2 strip down in the front of the car, as well as in the back. He removed the the turning indicator lights on the front quarter panels that were basically required in the 1970s. He also put on the mirror back, the Studebaker Avanti side mirror, and he painted the car gold. And I never asked him what he was doing with the car back then, but I think quite clearly that he was trying to make this car look like a 1964 Studebaker. And I think he did a very good job. He had a very limited budget at that time. My dad passed in 1991, and the car sat in garages unused up until 3 years ago, when an off-frame restoration was commenced on the car by Mike Baker and Rick Moo down at Avanti Restoration in Greenfield, Indiana. The car spent most of its life when Dad drove it as a daily driver outside in the elements. We did not have a garage here in Birmingham, and the hog troughs, the torque boxes, over 50% were missing. The back part of the frame, from the axle to the rear bumper mounts, was in such bad condition they could not be salvaged. So they actually severed off the old frame rails and spliced in frame rails from a 1962 Studebaker GT Hawk. So this car has a little bit of Hawk in it. And engine, transmission have all been rebuilt. The interior, I just finished reupholstering the front seats. The next item on the agenda is to paint the car. The car has a the paint job it currently has right now is from the mid-'80s. It's crazing. I call it a 2020 paint job, where it's a great-looking paint job at 20 feet away, going 20 miles per hour or faster. I'd like to do a little bit better than that, but it's been a great privilege to drive the car. It's fun. It wants to go fast, and when you're going fast, it just wants to go faster. But I drove from Indianapolis to do this race, to this event. This is my first dream cruise, and we originally, in the 1970s and 80s, we actually lived in Birmingham. My dad had an art studio down at the intersection of Woodward and Maple, and this is the first time that this car's been back home in Birmingham, probably since the 1980s, about 30 years ago. So it is sort of a homecoming for me, as also for the car.
Hi, this is Rich Mills. I'm from Norton Shores on the far side of the state of Michigan, way over here on Lake Michigan. And this is my 1983 Avanti, which I bought at the Arnhem auction in Novi in 2009. A lot of people say I didn't buy it. I stole it because I got it for about half price at about $8,000 when they were going for about 16. The former owner spent about 20 grand on it, repainting it, fixing the frame, and souping up the engine. It was built with a 305 and now has a 350, and it's got a mild racing cam and hooker headers and 4-barrel Holley carburetor on it, so it's got maybe 225 horsepower or so. The interior is leather interior. The car has all options except for fog lights and the trunk rack. The list price was about $32,000. The base price, I think, was around $22,000 at that time. So it seems like $1,000 was a very popular price for options. The sunroof was $1,000. Recaro seats was $1,000. Leather Recaro seats is another $1,000. You know, that just keeps adding up. Anyways, the car had 56,000 miles on it when I bought it in 2009. And today, on my way home, it's going to turn about 110,000 miles. So I've been averaging about 7,500 miles a year. I drove the car out to Rhode Island for the Studebaker National Meet in Warwick, and I may be driving it later in September to Kansas City for the Avanti meet. But the car has been all the way to Connecticut and all the way to California and as far south as Texas. I haven't driven it to Florida yet, but maybe one of these days.
As usual, this is a fabulous show, and I'm very disappointed that there's more Avantis than there are regular Studebaker models, but hey, it's all part of the club. I have a 62 Studebaker GT Hawk, and it's got a 4-speed limited slip differential that called twin traction, the Studebaker V8, and it's a fun to drive.
This is my car, a 76 Avanti 2, and this is during the era when the cars were built and the paint was absolutely colored to the request of the owner. And the guy that had this car built for him saw a 1975 Porsche Targa, Chicago Auto Show, and he liked the color. It's called Porsche Sepia Brown, straight shade paint, kind of sort of thing that Mercedes or Porsche or BMW did at the time. And so he thought, I think I'll order my Avanti with that color. And in addition to doing that, he also made it a color dipped look where all the interior upholstery, the carpeting, the vinyl, the molded parts are all done to match the exterior part of the car. And that was unique to the Avanti. And in fact, I think it still is. Nate Altman, who was the president of the company at that time, made one of the major selling features of the car the fact that you could order any color you wanted, just bring them a color chip. And sometimes you might have to hold their hand and question their judgment a little bit if the color is too intense. But they did some pretty intense cars. If somebody from U of M would order a blue car and an orange or whatever the school colors are, you'd have to be very careful as to whether you interpret that literally or do something else with it. But that's the big story with these cars. They were a medium-priced car built with a lot of the cues of ultra-expensive cars like Rolls-Royce and Bentley, et cetera, et cetera. So the fact that they've survived 20, 25, 30, 50 years, over 50 years, mid-50s, the oldest cars, I think Bill Kruger at the end of the line here has an original 63 Avanti R1. That's the way the cars were built. They didn't know what they were getting into because when they originally got into this, there had only been the Corvette and the Kaiser Darren KD161 Roadster had been built in anywhere near a volume production. So everybody that got into that was as much on a learning curve as anything else, and nobody knew if the car would disintegrate on its own after 25 or 30 years, and apparently that's not the case.
My name is Scott Briggy. I'm from Maumee, Ohio. And I'm here with my 78 Avanti 2. This color is called Burnt Orange, Sherwin-Williams Burnt Orange. I've been the owner since 2003. The original owners were right next door in Perrysburg, Ohio. The car is basically loaded down with every option available at the time. Recaro seats, skytop, sunroof, luggage rack, power doors, and powered by a Chevy 350.
I got the prettiest Avanti here.
What year is it?
63. It's a Studebaker Avanti. It's beautiful and it's rugged.
What color is it?
Gold. Avanti gold.
How long have you had it?
Over 10 years.
Okay.
But I just got it on the road this year.
Oh, cool. Is it right there?
That's it right there.
All right.
This is nice here, people
It is
just
nice.
relax and kind of walking around.
I agree with
it.
you.
Well, my car's a 1964 GT Hawk. I've had it for 6 years now. Its body's in real good shape. It spent the first 20 years in California. Next 6 in Texas, and then 20 years after that in Cleveland in a garage where the guy's got 5,000 miles on it in 20 years. And well, I've had it for 6 years, and I haven't put 1,000 miles on it yet. Spend too much. It always seems like there's something to fix. I like them, but every year you have to work on something.
I like it, but it needs an air conditioner.
What year is it?
65. 65 Commander.
How long have you had it?
19 years.
It runs well?
Excellent.
Everybody buy cars.
Runs better than my lawnmower does.
That made it, and she had to do one
Hi, we're at the 22nd Annual Woodward Dream Cruise. We have parking here on Old Woodward. We have a nice grouping of Studebakers and Avantis, and we have our recruitment table set up here. We got a banner. We invented cool. And we have some magazines trying to get new members. So enjoy the day here on Old Woodward.
That's Jason Ford. This is my 63 Avanti R2 Supercharged. I bought this car back in 1997. Actually have a Hawk at home and was looking for parts for this and found it online. We took a train out to Seattle and drove the car home. So over the years I've been working on it, fixing it up some. Gone through the mechanical stuff myself and had it painted 15 years ago and a repaint on the front end this last year or so.
Beautiful, beautiful car.
It's Avanti Gray Iridescent, original color, a rare color, but it was a replacement color for mid-year black, a mid-year replacement. Black was showing fiberglass flaws, so they came out with this color.
Interesting.
And had this color available for a couple of months till they brought black back. So there's only, I've looked it up before, there's only 40 to 50 cars painted this color, and really? I've never seen another one.
Hi, I have a 71 Avanti 2. I picked it up in 2012. Put about 5,000 miles on it in the last several years. Taking it to South Bend. It's running great. Great car, Chevy powered, 350 Stingray. Great car. Always wanted one, now I have it.
I'm Steve, otherwise known as Captain Video, and we're at the Woodward Cruise here in Birmingham, and I'm standing in front of my 1951 Champion. This is an original, unrestored car. We're going to have lunch soon, and hopefully we won't have a storm this afternoon, and we're also getting ready for my granddaughters to come.
Hey, well, goodbye, Woodward Dream Cruise. It's been fun.